Did you not watch the Raiders kick that field goal? I want them investigated immediately.
YouTube faithful, what is going on? There is a boost for the Chargers Philadelphia game on Onyx today. We will be opting into that. I have a lot to go over. If you're new to the channel, the name is Captain Crush. I cover NFL, MLB, NBA, all the sports. I focus on giving you guys the tricks of the trade to form a winning process and come out ahead, hopefully, at the end of the month, end of the year, end of the season. I've been doing this a long time, so if you're new to the channel, I thank you for checking me out. If you would, hit the subscribe, hit the like button. Don't forget to turn on notifications. Oh, and before I forget, there's a hype button. And you guys have been selling your souls for shekels on the dollar. You've been selling your souls, and I totally forgot. Smash that hype button like mama taught you, right? Come on, man. All right, we got a lot to break down. So there's only 3 NBA games, and there's 1 NFL game. So the video itself, the guts, is going to be, not a lot, because we're going to keep it SS today. Stupid simple. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're not doing anything crazy. We're just going to keep it simple, short, and sweet on our lineups. I'm not talking about the video, and we're going to hopefully get out of here with a dub. Now, if you were watching the NFL yesterday, holy smokes. First of all, as you can see here, Trey McBride not getting that touchdown totally cost me some coin. Look at this. Puka, Jacobs, McBride, last piece. Watson, Jacobs, Kyron, McBride, last piece. And then again here, I had McBride in 3 different lineups plus the one on PrizePicks. And then what we have right here, guys, this was my 6-leg parlay for the NFL slate. I went 4-2, and this should have been 5 out of 6, which still wouldn't pay, but plus 4,300. This was 15 to win like 700. At one point, I could have cashed out for $380. The Denver Broncos, okay, that needs to be investigated. I don't know what I saw there, but something is going on with the 2-11 Raiders, okay? Something, guys. The Broncos, 4th and 3 with 1 minute left, call a timeout and decide to run the ball instead of kicking a field goal. That's problem number 1. After they don't convert, problem number 2, the Raiders get the ball. There's literally a minute left. They're running the offense, no timeouts. They don't run out of bounds once. They get the ball. Last play, there's like 16 seconds left. They throw a bomb to Lockett. It's like a 27-yard play. He gets it. There's 4 seconds left. The defender runs over him gingerly on the ground, and the flag is thrown for defensive pass interference. Absolutely insanity, brother. Absolute insanity. Those never get called, okay? And then the game was over. They had no way to win. They were down 10 points. So then it stops the clock and puts them in field goal position 46 yards out. So what do the Raiders do? With 4 seconds left on the clock? No, they don't throw a Hail Mary, which every team would do here. They literally kick a field goal for 3 meaningless points because why? The game ends. Whether the field goal goes in or not, the game's over. There's only 4 seconds. So it's not like, oh, well, they could make the field goal and then do an onside and have a chance. No, a field goal is from 46 yards out, takes 4 seconds, regardless of any way you slice it. It's a 4 to 5, 6, 7, 8 second play. Okay. So that was it. The game was over. So why kick the field goal? Well, the Broncos no longer win by 8. They win by 7. So the Raiders plus 7.5 covers, and it cashed the over. That was the most shady sequence I've ever seen. And I don't care about losing the lineup, whatever. The Chiefs got 2 injuries right out of the gate. McDuffie goes down. I mean, the lineman's a shambles. That is what it is. Tip drills, interceptions, like whatever. That I don't care about that. I got value on that. The line closed at minus 4.5. But this is absolutely insanity. And I probably could have cashed out for 400 to 500 before this Chiefs game if I wanted to. Now, most likely I would have let it ride, but still, go back and watch that sequence. I'm not going to do it on this channel today. I'm going to make a separate short video for that, but keep that in mind. Now, I wanted to talk about that today because today there is another NFL game. It is a low point total. It's Justin Herbert at home. They're 2.5 point dogs, and I literally am probably going to take the Chargers plus 5.5 or plus 6.5. Tease it a little bit. I don't think they're going to lose by a touchdown if they lose. In fact, I think they can win this game. Justin Herbert literally has gone from 213 to 218 just in the past couple of minutes before starting this video, guys. I mean, Justin Herbert at home, they've been playing okay. They haven't really needed him versus in these past 2 games, whatever. There's no head-to-head data versus the Eagles, but I'm telling you right now, Herbert could have to sling it in this game, especially if the Eagles are on point. It could just be as simple as taking Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert today. Both of their lines are deflated, but I am going to take the quarterback. I'm going to take Justin Herbert. I also think his pass plus rush yards would be something to consider as well. Over half a pass TD. Now, their running back situation, of course, they're going to be back in the mix, but the lines that I like for him would be his pass plus rushing yards, his fantasy score, and then his pass attempts even. I think either one of those are fine. I like this at 213. Now it's at 218. I would just take the Goblin. Again, it's a low point total. It's not really a good game, and there's no like historical data, but I do believe Herbert's going to have to sling it. I hate taking opposing players versus the Eagles because they grind out the clock, but this is a different situation because the Chargers have an electric offense when everything's clicking. When everything is clicking, they have an electric offense. So you can just go with Herbert there. Or on the other side, you could go with Jalen Hurts. You could always take Jalen Hurts' fantasy score. I'm never going to tell you not to take that. Personally, though, I didn't go there. I am going with none other than Saquon Barkley, and here's why. It's not anything analytical. It's not that I love the matchup. I actually don't. The fact of the matter is that Mr. Barkley is due a massive ceiling game. He hasn't had a touchdown in 4 weeks. Now the line's a demon. Guess what? I will be taking this as a straight bet on Onyx. I won't be parlaying it with anything. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I am definitely taking him to get a touchdown. I'm taking my equity there. And in addition to that, his rush plus receiving yards and his rushing yards in general. Also, guys, his fantasy score is 14.5. If I would have told you that Saquon Barkley's fantasy score was going to be 14.5 versus anybody at the start of the season, you would have laughed me out of the gym, okay? He hasn't covered in 4 of 5. It's time for Barkley to have a big game. I hope they lean on him. The Eagles need to get right, and this is how they get right. They lean on Barkley. Enough of this AJ Brown stuff, okay? I'm tired of it. If we go back and look at the matchup with Barkley, 69.5 rushing yards, they're 13th overall, and they're 12th versus running backs. It's not that great of a matchup. If you look at away games, it's even worse for Barkley. He just hasn't been getting it done. Away, home, it doesn't matter. His last 10 games have been abysmal. Where is the Saquon Barkley of old? Now, I am just playing the fact that we eventually are going to get a ceiling game, and I hope that this is going to be the day, okay? ETN got there, Tootin got there, Jalen Warren was able to put up 70, Tony Pollard 56, Spears. You're telling me Barkley can't get 70 rushing yards today? I mean, come on, man. It's ridiculous. He's got to be getting there, and a rushing TD for him too. I think that is in play. ETN had 2 of them, but what's worse is the passing defense for the Chargers. They are literally number 1 in not allowing passing yards. So who are you going to target? Brown, Smith? I guess you could take any of those. The only one that I would be looking at is AJ Brown. This right here is a great square. AJ Brown, Lad McConkey, anytime touchdown. That's a great square. So is this one. It would be either one of these two if you want to go with the air game, guys. That'd be the only two. I don't want to mess around with Devontae Smith. I don't want to mess around with Dallas Goedert. I want the best receiver on the field, which is going to be AJ Brown, and it's his anytime touchdown combo with this one, and then either that or this combo. But again, I'm sticking with Barkley and Herbert, and I will have sprinkles of these two squares because they're just too good of equity to pass up. And then maybe Dallas Goedert finally gets a touchdown. He hasn't had one in 4 games as well. I could see him getting a touchdown today, absolutely, but it is a tough matchup for him as well. Okay, so that is it for football. I'm probably going to keep my NFL and NBA lineup separate because I don't want a dud Monday night football game to screw up my NBA lineups like it did on Thursday. So I'm going to keep those separate. But now let's cook the NBA, buddy. And yesterday was a great day for me. It could have been a magnificent day, but it was a good day. Okay, so I had this with Mahomes. I put that in last second. This was my anytime touchdown lineup. I missed by 1 leg. The Raiders, they didn't even run it on 1st and goal. Whatever. I should have had Bowers. I'm pretty sure he's the one that got the TD. Whatever. Okay, I still got 4 or 5. I still got paid on that. Bo Nix was surgical. Kareem Hunt, I mean, I really liked it, and I knew Puka was going to be the guy, not Devontae Adams. This is important. The reason I'm showing you guys this, look at this. This were the same lines on PrizePicks, Underdog, etc. Instead of paying 25 to 75, Onyx paid plus 255, which translates 25 to 88. So I made an extra $13.75 that I wouldn't have made if I put this on PrizePicks. That is why it is so important for you to shop around. I'm not just saying these things because I'm a shill for these books. Yes, I'm partnered with them. That comes with the work that I do. However, sometimes it's going to be PrizePicks. Sometimes it's going to be Underdog, ParlayPlay, Sleeper, Chalkboard, Onyx, Kalshi. You just don't know. You have to shop around, guys. And this right here for this payout, this was a slam dunk. They both cashed their demons. I'm pretty sure Luka did. I know Jamal Murray did. And that was surgical. Those were my two favorite NBA plays yesterday. And then my main lineup, Brissett, Jacobs, and Puka for NFL. 250 to win 14-12, a little under 6x. This was a complete sweat that didn't need to be on Jacobs and Jacoby. Jacoby ends up cashing his demon in the end. He's such a coin respecter. My only regret is that I didn't put more, but yesterday, like every Sunday, I had a 6-hour live stream. It was a solid day. So if you want to get my data models that I make my lineups with, access to the live streams, you want a community to sweat. If you don't have a community to sweat these lineups, dude, I would be pulling my hair out if I didn't have my Discord. I'm not just saying that because I operate and own it. I'm telling you the truth. If I didn't have a group of guys that understand what I'm going with to vent about what's going on in this league, in the NFL and the NBA, I would literally be pulling my hair out. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how. It's like, I love the community that I have, and I love that these guys are in there going through, and most of them understand what we're talking about. There's a few that are just like completely lost in space. However, overall, it's a great spot. But we'll talk about how to get in later. It's CaptainCrush.net. I will show you how you can backdoor your way in. But for now, let's talk about this NBA, Papa. You ready? What are we going to do? We only have 3 games. The NBA schedule is kind of fugazi in December. Have you noticed it? It's kind of wild. There should be 5 to 6 NBA games every single day. There should never be 12. There should never be 10. It should always just be 5 to 7. That's the sweet spot. It would give everybody rest and give everybody time. But it is what it is. We got what we got. So let's break this puppy down. The first person that I'm going to talk about, remember, we are keeping this stupid simple today, is the Phoenix Suns. Colin Gillespie, which I believe they're bumping his lines as we speak. What are we going to do with him? Well, he has been a stinker versus the Houston Rockets. Remember, no Devin Booker versus the Wolves. I am going to go right back, and I am looking at his fantasy score. Now, I know a lot of you guys can't take the fantasy score, so I would alter his PRA down to 23.5 or just take his points at 17. If you look at the head-to-heads here, you can see versus Minnesota, he had 20 on November 21st, which really wasn't that long ago. And if you look at the micro matchup, they're 26th in points allowed to his position. I mean, everything checks out here. Now, if you look at his last 5 for fantasy score, we can see his floor and his ceiling. 18 fantasy points, 20 fantasy points, 32, 40, 44. The line is 31. He has 40-point upside anytime he's on the court. And at just over 1.08 fantasy points per minute, it's real simple. If you take 29 times 1.08, you're going to get right around this number. So we need him to get 31 to 32 minutes, and he can clear both. I also think his PRA is good. He's just a points, rebounds monster. And then Anthony Edwards has some type of bug, so I'm just fading him today. He'll probably play because that's how it is. However, if he doesn't, whatever. Either way, I am going back to Rudy Gobert after he just put up a absolute stinker versus the Clippers on December 6th. He let everyone down, myself included. 19.5 PRA for the big man. The Frenchie is the way you want to go. That or his fantasy scope. Now it's going to be him versus Mark Williams, which whatever. I like Mark Williams too. I think he's a stud. I think he can get it done. But Rudy Gobert owes me coin. I don't know about you guys, but he owes me coin. Take a look at the matchup versus the center. This is where to exploit them. 21st in rebounds allowed, 25th in assists allowed, and 14th to points allowed. So maybe you want to look at his RA. You could definitely look at his RA. On one day of rest, his ceiling far exceeds what the line is, okay? He's failed to exceed 23.5 PRA in 8 of his last 10 games at home, okay? So that lets you know right away that he's due. Steven Adams cleared, Capella cleared, J-Val cleared, Chet Holmgren destroyed him, Eubanks, Precious Achua. I mean, Rudy Gobert owes me coin. His RA definitely could be considered. I don't know why Rudy plays so bad at home, but look at how terrible Rudy Gobert is at home. His last 3 home games were duds. It's time for him to have a game where he goes off, okay? Now, if you don't want to play Rudy Gobert, I would just fade this situation entirely or go with Julius Randle or something, but it's Rudy Gobert for me or bust. 19.5 PRA. I'm not asking for the full line today. I just want to get out with some cash. This slates poverty. Just make it to Taco Tuesday and go from there. Look, his RA right there is fine. You can take that all day long. And then I'm going to talk about 2 more guys and we're wrapping it up. Guy number 1, it's Herbert Jones. Everyone's going to be on Murphy and Sadiq Bey. Trey Murphy's going to have the most minutes. That's solid. I'm never going to talk you off Trey Murphy. But Herbert Jones, same game, easier path. I'm not targeting the Spurs because there's too many mouths to feed over there, especially with Castle back. I don't want to deal with that. I like to use where guys I know are going to get used. Okay, pause. Herbert Jones. The Joneses, keeping up with the Joneses. He's got block and steal equity. As you can see, his last 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2. This right here is 9 fantasy points, 6 fantasy points, 3, 6, 6. So if he gets 2 blocks and steals, which I think this is on the table as well, you only need 10 points. Unfortunately, he also turns the ball over a lot, but this is what I like for Jones. They bumped his points rebounds from 10.5 up a full point to 11.5. So now, unfortunately, you have to be looking at the Goblin. This is what I like for him, his points rebounds, but again, I prefer his fantasy score to give me that block and steal upside, okay? Now, look at his last 10 fantasy. 7 of 10, he's hit this. Pop it to only home games, he's hit it in 5 of 10. Head-to-head versus them on 10-24, not good. However, look at how he plays without Zion in there. Look at his last 20 games without Zion. Look at his last 10. 6 of 10, last 20, 12 of 17, he's covered this fantasy score without Zion. Now, granted, this team is a lot of new pieces. 26 minutes versus OKC, 28 minutes versus Golden State, 34 here, and he soared 34, 35. If he gets 34 minutes, chat, he's going over. Look at his points rebound. Now look at his points rebounds without Zion. 13 of 20. It's not a good matchup on paper. I get that versus the Spurs. It's terrible. Points allowed 3, rebounds allowed first. But that's assuming Wemby's in. He's not in. So I think it's fine. Another thing, Peyton Watson and Spencer Jones were able to clear. So was Chris Murray. I do believe that Mr. Jones can get there, or his fantasy score, without Zion playing. And if you don't want to take Herb Jones, I have a pivot for you. But before I talk about that and build the lineup, I want to tell you guys, CaptainCrush.net is how you can get in $25 a month. You can join now. You can backdoor your way in. Sleeper, Chalkboard, ParlayPlay, Underdog, any of these, not Outlier. Outlier is now swapped to Onyx. If you sign up with Onyx, you'll get 4 free bets. In addition to that, you will get 30 days free of my cord. Any of these guys, you just have to send me the email with proof that you did it. It's linked with Dub Club. You can get in $25 a month, 80 cents a day, complete cheap. 3-month, 6-month, 1-year packages, guys. This is where you'll get into the live streams. That is where this lineup was crafted, okay? Same thing with this. Same thing with this. 6-hour live stream. I also have the daily prop list that only missed by 1. You'll also get my slips under my tab. You'll get my role member lineups, etc. My data models are worth way more than that by themselves. I promise you that. Our fantasy sheet, which is being worked on right now. This is a sample of my fantasy sheet, so it tells you the usage rate, the fantasy point per minute. I give you a projection right here. We compare it to PrizePicks and Underdog, give you the differential so you can find the value. Nice and easy. I do these almost every single day. You can find the best overs and unders, and it's a good tool to have. And I also give you player projections, giving you their points, rebounds, assists, etc. Again, that's CaptainCrush.net, and there will be a live stream today. I recommend you lock in. I hope to see you guys there. Now, who do we take if we don't want to take Herb Jones? Well, let's build the lineup. First, we're going over here to Onyx. Don't forget, use code CRUSH, links in the description. And we are going to take a little 4-piece. First out of the gate, we're going to take Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown by itself. It's plus 115, 10 to win 21. This will cover my Starbucks tomorrow if it hits. I'm not parlaying it. I just want it straight up. Remember, it would be him or Dallas or that AJ Brown square on PrizePicks, the combo with him and Ladd. For player prop purposes, we're taking Herbert 209.5 passing yards, Saquon Barkley 59.5 rush yards, or his rush plus receiving yards at like 79.5. Right now we're at plus 150. And if we go over here to the NBA, we can look at Colin. His PRA, we can tease it down to 19.5, or you could take it at 24.5. Either one is fine. His fantasy score is probably optimal. We can't take fantasy scores here though. And then you could go to Rudy Gobert's double-double. I think that is completely in play. Rudy Gobert double-double at plus 125. Maybe you take that straight. But for this one, his PRA, it would look something like this. Okay, I'm going to keep my NFL and NBA separate, but it would look something like this. And this would pay you, for every $10, it would pay you $48.80. So basically 5x for this, okay? Now, again, going to keep NFL and NBA separate, but I will do one ticket like this for here, where I put in $10 just in case they both smash. But that is, I'm not going to have my main clean lineup like that. Now over here on Parlay Play, they have a boost for Mr. Barkley, of course, but we are just going to do an NBA one over here. No NFL. Now this is probably the best boost on the board. Anthony Edwards, 2.5 3-pointers made, but again, he's questionable with some type of illness. I have no idea if he's what it's going to be like. I just remember Keontae George selling his soul when he had an illness. If you remember that, oh, bad memories. But anyways, don't cry for me, El Dorado. Look at this, 14.5 PRAs, 1.9. This is the guy I was telling you about. You don't want to take Herb Jones? Fine. Alvarado's been a quasi wagon, and I will not be getting off this train anytime soon. So him and Colin, or you can go with Mr. Herb Jones. Like I said, El Dorado's at 14 on PrizePicks. You get that crispy push equity, and then the Frenchman at 19.5 PRA. Colin's fantasy in this, or you can just leave out Rudy Gobert. This is 3.5x. You could take one of the boosts. You could take Siakam. Siakam's points, rebounds is good. You could take Anthony Edwards. What would that put us at? Almost 5x. Take Barkley's rushing yards. This will take us to 2x. I mean, maybe we should just go with Barkley. I mean, I don't like taking the NFL with this, but you know what? We're gambling anyways. We'll just go ahead and hope for the best. Barkley with this, Alvarado and Colin, you can make a 2-man. You can take any lineups you want. You can mix around whatever I said. Straight bets with Onyx, guys. I gave you my analysis on the slate. We talked about the NFL, the NBA. The parlay promo code is CRUSH. You can get 30 days of my Discord, $100 deposit match, and a free square. If you sign up on Onyx, you play through 10, you get 4 free $25 bets totaling to 100. And it opens up the door for states like mine to be able to use an actual website that allows you to do this stuff. You're going to get better odds. PrizePicks' prediction market is total poverty. If you want to do the prediction markets, use Kalshi. Again, the links are in the description. Short and sweet video today, guys. Just keeping it, not a lot of fluff. Don't forget, please smash that like button. It really helps me out. I hate to ask, guys. I'm praying for you all to have a good holiday. I love you guys. Here's the salute. Good luck in all your contests. And as always, my brothers and sisters in Christ, let's crush.